So we're going to start. We're going to welcome the awesome Liz Lenjo Kags. I've known her for a very long time, so me just know awesome people. I love my life. But the thing that you don't know about Liz, apart that she's a very good IP lawyer, and she runs a company called Kikau Law, is that she loves anything arts. She was a dancer, and she was a singer. We make her dance or sing? Dance. And she was also a model in her heydays, although her heydays aren't over. So she was a runway model at 5 feet 2 inches. Yeah. And then me, who is 5'6", I didn't get in. You see how the world works? It's really unfair. And she wants to make a comeback into modeling. So if you know a guy who knows a guy who has a fashion line, this is how it works. You have a model right here. So let's welcome Liz, and she's going to have she has a very interesting session lined up for us. Please pay attention. It's very conversational. Hakuna PowerPoint, so you have to pay attention and ask all your questions. Come up with all the questions in law. All right, welcome, Liz. Guys, when I'm here, I want smiles and claps. That's what your job is. Smiles and claps, people.
Good morning, everyone. Are we happy to be here? So my name is Liz Lenjo. I'm an advocate of the High Court of Kenya. I run a niche practice called Kikau Law. So Kikau Law is run by two ladies, myself and my business partner. We met in campus on the runway. So I was sort of like her mentor. I'm like 5'2", she's like 6 feet tall. Quite the paradox. So we decided we have a passion for the arts, and we realized there was a big gap. I mean, the arts is one of the strongest, in our view, industries in Kenya. But the problem is money goes to the wrong people. Yeah? So that is our corner we decided to conquer. So Kikau Law specializes in intellectual property law, entertainment law, sports law, fashion law, media law. So we're just lawyers for the arts, basically. And also, so gaming, fashion, all those things that entertain us, we are the lawyers in that space. So today I'll talk about intellectual property law, and why this has become a very important area of law for people to just understand the basics is because of one thing. Every business starts with what? An idea. Sindio, it starts with an idea. But now the challenge has been, how do we handle all these ideas that we have, all these partnerships that we envision? Because what happens after we have an idea, we always say, someone stole my idea. Sindio? Yeah, like we love that phrase. They stole my idea. So how do you handle ideas? Yeah. So I'll put it in a contextual sort of scenario. Liz meets Wamboi, and we say, oh, we should do business. So scenario A, we meet in a club. Yeah. I say, oh yeah, by then I was thinking I'll launch this fashion line and I'll do blah, blah, blah. And we're almost tipsy and we're so excited. And then maybe we didn't know what to do about it. Then tomorrow, maybe Wamboi has the bigger pocket, yeah? And tomorrow she goes, registers a trademark, starts trading, and Liz didn't have chums. Liz was probably nursing a hangover. And the next thing Wamboi has launched. So step one, we need some sort of agreement, a partnership agreement. So if you meet your business partner or potential business partner, you exchange ideas in the least likely places. Imagine a serviette is enough to be a contract before you get a lawyer. It has been admissible in court in different cases. So we're in a club and we say, Wamboi, you'll do X. Right on a serviette. We both sign and we can go with it and see a lawyer. Step one. Senior, we've had people who've done businesses with their relatives. You do business with your mom, your sister. And it's very important you have these conversations from the beginning. Because what happens when money checks in? See, we fight. Yeah, we love to fight a lot. When money, dollar signs are obvious, it becomes, I did, you did, no, I own this part, blah, 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 I own 80%. It always becomes messy. So when you start a business, apart from doing the basic registrations, I think one thing you really need to address when you do your partnership agreements is have the IP clauses, yeah? Who does what? What happens to the IP we create as a business, yes? So in intellectual property, we are talking about the expressions of the ideas. So intellectual property law does not protect the idea, but the expression of the idea. So there are different elements of protecting intellectual property. There's copyright. Copyright is number one because it's the most common. It protects literary works. So if you're in training, The training manuals that you create, you protect under that. If you're an artist, the drawings. If you're a photographer, it's the photography. If you're a musician, it's your lyrics. Or, a dancer, choreography. If you're a sculptor, yeah? So literary and artistic works. And also software. Do we have any people in software here? Yes. So with software as well, you would need copyright. And copyright is accorded to the fancy coding that they put together. And then we have trademarks. We create brands. When you do your business, you create a brand. But when you register a business, one of the common misconceptions has been, oh, I have a business name, oh, I have a company name, I own that name. No, you don't. That's why there will be different companies with different names, unless you register a trademark. A trademark gives you the exclusive use over the name that you create, the logo that you create, the slogans that you create, the artistic works that would incorporate in your logo. So what will happen is that trademark, you get the exclusive use over that name or anything that is phonetically similar. Yeah? So if, let's say, someone else had iHub with an R, they remove the star, but it sounds like iHub. Now, if iHub, I believe iHub has a trademark. So iHub can fight on that basis. If they don't have a trademark, iHub with an R will take the day. And if they have a trademark, they can come back and possibly fight them. Yeah? So it's always important from the beginning that you understand what you're trying to do and create that brand. Do we have any people here in fashion, in the fashion business? So the people in fashion business, apart from, do you create your own stuff? Okay. You buy. Okay, so for you right now would be a brand. So, but if you're a fashion designer, then you would have other elements of protection. We call it industrial design. So an industrial design will create the beauty of the aesthetics of what you have created. So like, that shoe that was released about 3 years back looks almost like a hoof and you look like you will fall. Yeah, that was like a really big design, and they registered a design patent. Americans call them design patents. So it's important when you look at what you're creating, you get a lawyer who's preferably experienced in intellectual property. Because if you get one who doesn't, intellectual property has a shelf life of a banana. So if you go through the wrong channels, by the time you're trying to make right your wrongs, guess what? The next big thing has happened. Cindy, yeah? So it's very important. When we are trying to do pitches, yeah, what are some of the things that you need to be aware of? If it's a competition, please read the terms and conditions. Some of these terms and conditions are very impractical. They want to own you, your cousins, your relatives. You need to be aware, yeah? You also need to be in a point of information to decide what are you going to pitch. Are you going to, pitch your golden goose, or start with that idea you're just like, this one, if it goes, I'm okay. You probably just take, my profile to the next level. It's very important. And then I'm sure we've heard of the word patent. Cindy, see, people like to tell you, oh, I will patent your idea. That is a very terrible and inaccurate statement. It gives us headaches as IP lawyers. So a patent is the highest form of protection that you would get in intellectual property. It means in the whole world, you are that guy who came up with that idea. So you can imagine that threshold, yeah? So by the time someone is telling you deserve a patent, give them a side eye. You're like, are you sure? Yeah? And it's always important also for you to know around your industry who has done what. Already even you will know when someone is not telling you the truth, because patents are expensive. It takes about 2 to 3 years before you get a patent. And then by the time you hire a patent lawyer, a patent drafter, we're talking 300 to 800K, and the other, ways to protect if you had like a patent. If you look at Coca-Cola, to date, nobody knows what Coca-Cola is made of. Cindy, yeah? But they didn't go for the patent route, because when you do the patent route, there's what we call it's almost like the disclaiming stage. Disclaiming means you're telling the public what it is that's so unique, that's so different about your product. So as such, there will be a publication that will be made out there. So if it's in Kenya, it will be on the Kipi Gazette, Kenya Industrial Property Institute. If you're in the States, the USPTO. And people will just go online and look for this product, and it says everything word for word how you created it. Now, as much as you'll have the exclusivity, of course, it means that your competitors will be entitled to reverse engineer. So Coca-Cola said, you know what? Us will just be smart and we'll do a trade secret route. So a trade secret now, protection is now a contract. It's done by way of a contract. It's one of those contracts that tell you when to breathe, when to drink water. Like that's how tight it is. So like for Coca-Cola is one of the best success stories in terms of trade secret protection. And it's the little things like having two executives who work at Atlanta, Georgia, not being in the same plane at the same time. That's how intricate it is, yeah? They have investigators, quote unquote, in different areas of the world. So if you notice our Coke our Fanta tastes different from the one in the States or wherever. It's a strategy, because what they want is they want to make sure that they, as a global company, they're making their money everywhere. So then they're able to tell if someone illegally imports Fanta maybe from Ghana to bring it in Kenya, they have a guy who will taste and say, this one has been brought by a guy who's not licensed in Kenya, yeah? So it's such little strategies that help you protect your intellectual property. So contracts are a big, big, big problem. Yes, we're in the dark. Yeah, it's this light. Yeah, it's the projector. I'll just move. I think it's better here. So contracts are a big issue when it comes to protecting intellectual property. How many of us are even in business with our relatives? By a show of hands, don't feel shy. Have you had those conversations about ownership? Do you have documents? Yeah, it's always important. Don't just say, if it's business with your mom, your auntie, your uncle, just say, "Mommy, I know I love you." But I think business-wise, this is what we need to do. Yeah, because we've always been relying on what we call the gentleman's agreement, but it's non-existent. True or false? Senor, I've been in meetings where people who used to play kati and bladder together went into business, and then things went crazy. And then they were just like, we used to play bladder, you were always on my team. How could you do this to me? And, it's such a mess, So even when you're not sure about what you're creating or where it's going or what it will look like, please seek legal advice, yeah? The good thing for you is when you come to me, if I do something wrong, it's my fault, yeah? You have someone to blame. That's what lawyers are there for. So find consolation. And then hopefully me and my professional indemnity, if I did such a big mess, I'll pay you off, But it's very important. How many of us here have lawyers? Please show your hands. Yes. That's a good asset to have, yeah? Because a lawyer will always be on your corner. And it's, just as long as you know the basics. That's the other thing. Some of us feel like, as lawyers, we're like, I'll hold all the information, I don't give you the basics. And then you know when I tell you a lie. Sindio? So it's always important just for you to learn the basics. So in a nutshell, that's what intellectual property is. It's the protection of the expression of the ideas. There are other forms of protections, as what we call utility models. That's like a petty patent. Americans call them a petty patent. So there was already an existing invention that was unique, and then you sort of improve it, and then you get a utility model. It's what is used mostly for softwares here in Kenya, because of course, if we go the patent route, we'd have to get, patent licenses from just using X, Y, hashtag, and those are common things. Yeah, so it's important. So basically that's in a nutshell. I'd like, once we start the Q&A, the interaction, you ask me your specific questions, and then we can sort of take it from there, so that I don't bore you with section of the Copyright Act and whatnot. So, so basically that's it in a nutshell. Thank you.